Think of Apple today. Sleek designs, billions of dollars, changing the world. But it didn't start in a fancy office. It all began in a small garage in California back in 1976. Two friends, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, had a crazy idea. What if computers weren't just for big companies? What if they were simple enough for everyone to use at home? With almost no money, they used spare parts to build their first computer by hand. They even sold their personal belongings, like a calculator and a van, just to fund their dream. They worked late nights, building computers one by one. Many people laughed at them, thinking personal computers were a joke, but they didn't give up. That garage-born dream led to the Macintosh, the iPod, and the iPhone, devices that completely reshaped our world. From a small garage to one of the biggest companies on Earth, it all started with two friends and a simple belief. Microsoft didn't start as a tech giant. It started with two college friends and a bold idea. In 1975, Bill Gates and Paul Allen believed that computers would one day be in every home. At the time, computers were huge machines that filled entire rooms. Many people thought their idea was impossible. They began by creating a simple software program for early computers. Soon they founded Microsoft, short for Microcomputer Software. Their big break came when IBM asked them to provide an operating system for their new personal computer. Microsoft delivered, and that software became MS-DOS, the foundation for future success. A few years later, Microsoft launched Windows, making computers easier for everyone to use. They didn't stop there. Microsoft went on to create Office, Xbox, and cloud services that now power millions of homes and businesses worldwide. Today, Microsoft is one of the most influential tech companies in the world, and it all started with two friends, a garage-like passion, and the belief that computers could change everything, from a small idea to shaping the digital world. Google didn't start as the world's top search engine. It started in a garage, with two PhD students and a big idea. In 1996, Larry Page and Sergey Brin wanted to organize the world's information. Back then, search engines were clunky, slow, and inaccurate. Most people thought the web was already crowded and there was no need for another search tool. Page and Brin developed an algorithm called PageRank, which ranked pages based on relevance and links. They built the first Google servers in a small garage, using cheap computers and second-hand parts. Google grew quickly, offering fast, accurate search results, and later expanded into Gmail, YouTube, Android, and Google Maps. Today, Google touches billions of lives every day, and it all started with a simple belief that organizing information could make the world smarter. From a garage to a global tech empire. Netflix didn't start as a streaming giant. It started with two friends and a mail-ordered DVD service. In 1997, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph wanted to rent movies without late fees. They mailed DVDs directly to customers, relying on the internet to manage orders. Many people thought it was too niche and would fail. Netflix evolved with technology. Moving to online streaming in 2007, they began producing original content like House of Cards and Stranger Things, disrupting traditional TV and movie industries. Today, Netflix entertains millions worldwide and has changed how people consume content. And it all started with a simple idea: making movies easier to watch, from DVDs to streaming dominance. Facebook didn't start as the world's largest social network. It started in a college dorm, with a simple goal. In 2004, Mark Zuckerberg wanted students at Harvard to connect online. The initial platform, called Facebook, allowed students to share profiles, photos, and messages. Many people doubted it could grow beyond colleges. Within months, Facebook expanded to other universities and eventually the entire world. Over the years, Facebook acquired Instagram and WhatsApp and ventured into virtual reality with Oculus, rebranding as Meta today. Meta influences how billions of people communicate, share, and experience content globally. And it all started with a dorm room, a laptop, and a belief that connecting people online could change the world. From a dorm room idea to connecting billions. Airbnb didn't start as a global travel platform. It started in a small apartment, with air mattresses and a bold idea. In 2008, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia struggled to pay rent. They decided to rent out air mattresses in their living room during a conference and provide breakfast. That small idea became the foundation of Airbnb. They expanded the platform to connect hosts and travelers worldwide. Today, millions of people stay in unique homes every year. And Airbnb has changed the way people travel and experience new cities. And it all started with a small apartment, a desire to share space, and a belief that people could trust strangers. From a tiny experiment to a global platform, Spotify didn't start as the music giant it is today. It started in a small office in Sweden, with a simple goal. In 2006, Daniel Ek and Martin Lawrenson wanted to make listening to music legal, instant, and free from piracy. Most people thought streaming would never replace downloads or CDs. They launched Spotify, giving users access to millions of songs instantly. Over time, Spotify introduced playlists, podcasts, and personalized recommendations, transforming the music industry forever. Today, millions of people use Spotify daily. And it all started with a small office and a belief that music should be accessible to everyone, from a small office to changing the music industry. Did you know Snapchat didn't start out as the social media giant it is today? The whole idea was born in a Stanford dorm room, and it was all about a single, simple concept: disappearing photos. Back in 2011, founders Evan Spiegel and Bobby Murphy imagined a world where messages would vanish right after being seen. It was about giving users a new kind of privacy and a more fun, spontaneous way to interact. At the time, a lot of people thought it was just a gimmick, a silly idea that would never catch on, but then Snapchat did something revolutionary. They introduced features like filters and stories, things that are now standard on almost every social media platform. What started as a little experiment, sending disappearing photos, has completely reshaped how millions of us communicate and how trends are born. From a dorm room project to a cultural phenomenon. Did you know PayPal wasn't always the giant payment company we know today? It all started in a tiny office with just a simple idea. Back in 1998, Max Levchin, Peter Thiel, and a young Elon Musk saw a huge problem. People were terrified of sending money online. It just didn't feel safe. So, they decided to change that. They built a revolutionary platform that let anyone send money instantly and securely. Think about it. At a time when online fraud was rampant, they created a system people could actually trust. Slowly but surely, PayPal became the go-to choice for online shopping and transactions, basically setting the standard for the entire e-commerce world. Today, millions of people use it every single day without a second thought. It's amazing to think that this global powerhouse grew from a small team with a big belief that moving money should be simple and reliable for everyone. From a small office to your digital wallet. Ever wonder how the digital world we live in came to be? A huge piece of that puzzle started not in a giant factory, but in a tiny lab back in 1968. That's where two visionaries, Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore, took on a massive challenge. They had a wild idea: to make computer chips smaller, faster, and way more powerful than anyone thought possible. Back then, most people didn't believe that a simple element like silicon could be the key to a computing revolution. But Noyce and Moore pushed forward. They invented the first commercially successful microprocessors, the very brains that powered the earliest personal computers. From there, Intel just kept innovating, creating CPUs, memory chips, and groundbreaking semiconductor technology. Today, Intel's tech is inside millions of computers and servers all over the globe. It all began with two guys in a small lab who believed that tiny chips could change the world. From that small start to powering our digital age. You probably think Uber has always been this massive ride-hailing giant, right? Well, think again. It all started back in 2009 with a simple, common problem. The founders, Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp, were just tired of how difficult and expensive it was to get a taxi. So, they created a small app to solve it. The idea was genius in its simplicity: connect drivers and passengers with just a tap on their phones. At first, a lot of people were skeptical. They couldn't imagine this little app working on a global scale, but it grew, and it grew fast. Uber expanded to hundreds of cities worldwide, launched Uber Eats for food delivery, and even started exploring self-driving car technology. Today, it's completely transformed how we think about transportation. And it all began with one small app and a big vision to make getting around easier for everyone. From a simple idea to changing how the world moves. Did you know IBM wasn't always a tech giant? Back in 1911, it started as a small company making tabulating machines, kind of like old-school calculators. At the time, the idea that machines could handle data better than people was pretty radical. A lot of folks were skeptical, thinking it would never catch on. But a few innovators had a vision, believing that technology could revolutionize how we work. From those early days, IBM grew and grew. They built the massive mainframes that powered businesses, introduced the personal computers that brought technology into our homes, and developed software that changed entire industries. Today, IBM is still a huge player in global technology and business. It's amazing to think that this massive corporation, with its hands in everything from AI to cloud computing, all began with a small, tabulating company and a bold idea. From a tiny office to a global powerhouse. Did you know Adobe didn't start as the software giant we know today? Back in 1982, it was just two engineers, John Warnock and Charles Geschke, working out of a tiny office. Their goal: to make publishing and graphics easier on computers. At the time, a lot of people thought their idea was too niche and would never take off. But they proved everyone wrong. First, they created PostScript, a language that completely transformed the printing and publishing industries. Then came the game changers: Photoshop, Illustrator, and Acrobat. These tools revolutionized design, photography, and how we handled digital documents all over the world. Today, millions of creators, designers, and artists rely on Adobe software every single day. And it's incredible to think it all started with just two guys, a small office, and a really big dream. From a humble beginning to shaping global creativity. Did you know Samsung didn't start out as a tech giant? Way back in 1938, it was just a small trading company in South Korea. Its founder, Lee Byung-chul, had a huge dream of one day making it big in electronics. But their beginnings were super humble at first. Samsung sold groceries, dried fish, and even noodles. Not exactly the cutting-edge tech we know them for today. Many people were skeptical, doubting that a small Korean company could ever compete on the world stage against established giants. But by the 1970s, Samsung took a massive leap. They dove into the electronics market, starting with black and white TVs, then moving into semiconductors, and eventually creating the world-class smartphones we use every day. Today, Samsung is a household name, touching millions of lives with its technology. And it all started from a small grocery store and one person's unstoppable dream to innovate. From groceries to global tech, what a journey. Think of Sony, and you probably picture a massive tech giant, right? But what if I told you it all started in a tiny bombed-out department store in Tokyo? Back in 1946, two engineers, Aki Morita and Masaru Ibuka, had a bold dream. They wanted to build electronics that would change people's everyday lives. At the time, many believed Japan couldn't compete with the world's established tech companies, especially after the war. But Morita and Ibuka were determined. They started with just 8 employees and a passion for innovation. Their first big hit, Japan's very first tape recorder. From there, they never looked back. They gave us the Walkman, which completely revolutionized how we listen to music on the go. And of course, they created the PlayStation, changing the world of gaming forever. Today, Sony is a household name across the globe. It's incredible to think that this global empire grew from a small office and the powerful vision of 2 determined engineers. Did you know SpaceX didn't start out as a rocket company? Back in 2002, it began with just Elon Musk and a wild, almost impossible vision. He wanted to slash the cost of space travel and make humanity a multiplanetary species. At the time, pretty much everyone thought he was crazy. But Musk didn't give up. SpaceX started building rockets from the ground up. They faced failure after failure, but they kept pushing. Finally, they had their first big win with Falcon 1, which was followed by the incredibly successful Falcon 9 and now, the revolutionary Starship program. Today, SpaceX is a leader in the industry, regularly sending cargo and astronauts to the International Space Station and pushing the boundaries of exploration. And it all began with a simple, powerful belief that space should be for everyone. From a small, ambitious startup to literally reaching for the stars. Ever wonder how a tech giant like HP got its start? It wasn't in some fancy high-rise office. It all began in a tiny garage in Palo Alto, way back in 1939. Just two friends, Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard, with a shared passion for electronics. They started out building electronic test equipment. In fact, their very first product was an audio oscillator, and you'll never guess who their first big customer was. Walt Disney. He bought 8 of them to use for the sound in the classic movie Fantasia. Pretty cool, right? From that small but significant sale, HP grew and grew. Soon they were making computers, printers, and all sorts of tech solutions that people around the world use every single day. Today, HP is still a global leader in technology. It's amazing to think that it all started with 2 friends in a garage, driven by a simple vision. From a garage to global innovation, what a journey. Follow for more incredible tech stories just like this one. Thanks for watching.